In western Oklahoma, wildlife biologists continue to tackle the challenge of keeping the landscape wildlife friendly. Historically, western Oklahoma's grasslands and prairies were managed through natural fires caused by lightning storms and sometimes campfires. And it's easy to see how a fire could happen out here on the arid, windy plains, with a yearly rainfall in some areas almost reaching 17 inches. It's just dry. So what's a wildlife department biologist's main frustration? The water-greedy Juniperus virginiana, known as the eastern red cedar. These trees rapidly seed and, without fire, quickly encroach riparian zones and choke out valuable wildlife habitat. In order to combat cedars, biologists and concerned landowners started reintroducing fire through prescribed burn plans. These fires, which are closely watched and heavily managed, are a really useful conservation tool. But fires sometimes are not enough, and a more direct approach is needed. And that approach is called mastication. Marcus Thibodeau, the biologist for Black Kettle, Pack Saddle, and Ellis County WMAs, has seen quick results from this inexpensive management technique.
So this is an example of one of our active riparian enhancement projects we've got going on. So this was a riparian area that was identified as being too choked out or encroached by cedar trees and other undesirable woody vegetation to where turkeys would avoid it or not utilize it. So after working through that process with the NWTF and even some of our partners at like the U.S. Forest Service, like at Black Kettle, we've hired some contractors to come in and open up these roost tree sites. So what they do is they masticate all of the eastern red cedars and undesirable woody vegetation. So mastication literally means to chew up. So they have mulching heads on these heavy pieces of equipment like the one running behind me that come through and chew up all the undesirable woody vegetation and leave it clean. So historically this would have been done by fire, but since that's been suppressed, happening naturally, this stuff has become way overgrown, and with the invasive eastern red cedar really just choked out the turkeys from being able to use this area. And so we bring this equipment in and they bring it back down to this manageable level so that in the future we can come through here and control it with fire. We see turkeys responding to this habitat work immediately. Even with these big machines running, we'll see turkeys start to filter into these areas and make it home. And all of this is paid for by the turkey hunters of Oklahoma and the National Wild Turkey Federation. We also do cooperative projects with the U.S. Forest Service. So we just want to thank and acknowledge all of our partners in making this turkey habitat great again for our in-state and out-of-state hunters that come out here.
All this new habitat